and his abdominal muscles come this way and attach to his pelvis, which sits like this. So our pelvis sits obviously horizontal. And so when those muscles of his abdomen tighten, they pull his pelvis underneath him like this, right? In the same way that if we were standing and we had good posture, we would carry our sternum and these muscles in our abdomen would flex and they would bring our pelvis underneath us and our pelvis ring would sit normal, as opposed to someone who had a very hollow back and stood like this, right? So that's ideal because it brings the horse's hind leg, by virtue of just the fact that he's rotating his pelvis, it brings his hind leg more underneath his body, right? If his pelvis is rotating this way, it brings his hind leg more underneath his body. The more his hind leg comes underneath his body, the more he's able to support the weight. You know, all this stuff weighs a lot. There's a lot of guts and organs and fluid and everything else. So the more his hind leg comes underneath, the more he's able to carry that with his hind leg. In order for that to happen, his back has to be relaxed and up enough for his pelvis to rotate. If his back, if you think about it, if his back was like this, hollow, like a hammock, in order for that to be like a hammock, it would put his pelvis, instead of at this angle, at that angle. And that would necessarily put his hind legs that much further behind him. Right? So, in order for him to really step underneath his body and carry himself, his hind legs have to come underneath. He has to rotate his pelvis, and in order for that to happen, his back has to come up. Additionally, these big muscles of his neck, as they attach to his shoulders, and as the horse's thorax, his chest cavity, unlike ours, is not attached to his thorax. So his thorax sits in this muscular sling. And when it sits in that sling can either be stretched downward, so his chest is sort of falling down between his front legs, or it can be carried up. And if he has any pain in this part of his back, where the front of the saddle is, that drives that thoracic sling down and the horse can't lift. But if he's very comfortable there, all of these muscles can flex towards his head this way, and he pulls his withers, his thoracic sling up, and he sits down and comes underneath, and the whole horse's balance kind of does that, right? And when he is that way, you can do whatever you want. He can turn on a dime, he can jump a fence. He's extremely athletic at that moment. Whereas if his hind legs are way out behind him and his thoracic sling is sunken, he has no agility. He's like he just has no athletic capacity. Right? So that is why the saddle is so key, because it either enables